Not huge, outgoing, loud personalities, so could complement other teammates really well.
Would you like complementary personalities or balancing personalities?
You know, it's really interesting to kind of see which way the captains do that as well, and probably player preference. We've seen players get matched up who are so different and kind of helps them get out of their shell a little bit.
Now Andrea Lee to pay off one of the better tee shots of the day. Don't tell our afternoon feature groups this is a difficult golf course. We've got 5 out of the 6 of them in the red early off of the back. And Lee's heading to a par 5 next.
Yeah, both screens going. And now Andrea Lee about to tee off on the par 5. A good tee shot here does set the players up with the opportunity to reach the green in 2. Andrea Lee has struggled this year off the tee and driving accuracy. She's, pardon me, in distance. In Corpus before the Solheim Cup, and for Andrea Lee, all U.S. team members, to get some good momentum. I mean, Allison Corpus, she missed the cut last week at the AIG Women's Open, and definitely wants to go in the right direction.
Got to clip it with spin, and finally puts the brakes on after a couple of skips. Really tough hole to get close to today here at 12, whether you're laying up or almost jarred that. That pitch mark's just a couple of inches away. While that was happening, Andrea Lee back at 12, a little low and left on that birdie effort. Still work to be done.
Andrea has a pretty long putt to clean up here. She had a similar line to what Corpus had, and it just ended up racing by the hole.
Well, putting is Andrea's strength. She's 3rd on tour in putts per green in regulation. So if she's misses a little bit, chunky part of the green.
And Andrea Lee last. All 3 of these players pretty light hitters off the tee. Just you'll be seeing a lot of action from the fairway, but have to contend with longer clubs into the greens than many of their LPGA counterparts.
Yeah, this group, I am predicting, is going to find a lot of fairways. And like you said, will have longer clubs into them. But just looking at their to practice and stick with it, but really gave her so much inspiration being able to be a part of that Kari Webb group and watch Hannah Green. That was a good judge of speed. I really thought she hit that too hard, but it stopped well next to the cup. Made it through Q School in 23. So not just a lot of money on the line, but next year, this could go a long way.
Yeah, I mean, made one cut last year and then went back and finished top 30 at Q Series to just play our way right back onto the LPGA Tour. Andrea Lee, one last peek at it to make sure it took a good kick. It did, but now races down and will that bank back into the fairway? It won't. It'll hang up there on the first cut.
Help avoid those divots we were talking about. Same high school coach, Sister Lynn. She's
still there?
Still there.
Nice.
Yep.
It's kind of like down-grained there, you know?
I won't ask how many years behind you Sarah was, because that would be
rude,
unfriendly this early into our week together.
Let's just say they're a lot.
You did not share the same hallways at any point in time.
We did not.
It's going to be a long ways from home here at the green. And you both ended up at East Coast schools.
Yes.
Got away from the West Coast.
And like I said, she had...
Got the voice of Emma Talley, who's caught back up with this group. Between her, my partner Amanda, and me, we've won 2 U.S. amateurs. How about that?
I'm not going to lie, it's pretty impressive.
That's a good one. Thanks, Will.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to include myself on that list.
Where was yours, Amanda? Where did you win the USAM?
I won mine in Eugene, Oregon in 2008. I actually had to think of that. It was 2008.
I need to get out of Dublin. Well, maybe I'll be okay.
Those big old trees out there. I remember we had a national championship, and those trees are intimidating out there.
Yes, it was. They're so massive. It's actually so gorgeous during the summer, and it was a great match play golf course because if you hit them too far in the trees, you say, you know what, this is your hole. Let's go on to the next one.
Kind of a similar vibe to the KPMG Ladies PGA Championship this year, also in the Pacific Northwest, and there were a few holes there where you were trying to flight shots between 100, 150-foot evergreen trees, massive goalposts on either side of the fairways. A little more width to the golf course here at TPC Boston.
The 3 players in my group will not have a problem with that, though. I think Allison Corpus is maybe at the top of fairways this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right now they have her number 2 in driving accuracy.
Uh-oh. We're going to have a missed fairway here if that doesn't get down. That may.
Smart play, though. I mean, just get yourself a 15-footer, right?
I've really noticed with our featured groups in the morning and now in the afternoon have been playing very smart golf, playing to the fat parts of the greens, not necessarily attacking the pins.
Andrea Lee has 143 to the hole.
That's going to be a tough up and down. And we talked earlier about, our caddies walking the golf.
On the golf course.
Somewhere down there is Andrea Lee for her 3rd here at 15.
Little uphill slope, little side hill lie. Just got to get a high, soft shot.
Yeah, she did that maybe not quite as close as she would have liked. Those bunker shots for players who practice as much as they do.
And after the sand play, this for the save for Andrea Lee.
It almost looked like she stood up a little bit as she was hitting the golf ball. Didn't quite stay down as long as she would have liked. And just leaked a little bit to the right. Hung up on the fringe collar.
Trying to turn that ball over, get up there. That's gonna stick. Might have to sprint. Get a coin on it now.
Yeah, she doesn't seem too worried about it.
Didn't execute the shot that she wanted. Still even gave her this little twinge in her brain. Like, well, if she wants to know if I'm still here, that might mean because she's going to call me and give me good news. And sure enough, she did deliver the good news prior to it being official on Tuesday when Stacey Lewis announced those captain's picks of Lexi Thompson, Jennifer Kupcho, and Sarah Schmelzel.
That would have been actually pretty cruel if she said, hey, you're going to stick around. You stick around and be like, yeah, you didn't make the team. I'm glad it was good news for Sarah.
All right, birdie effort here for Andrea Lee.
Gonna swing a lot right to left up the hill, about 25 feet. This would be a good one to get in, but gonna have to judge the speed in the line really well with the how much it's gonna break.
Got it.
Oh, no. No, that was cruel. That was such a good putt. Great pace. Looked like that was just going to fall into the cup right at the end.
Ashley Buhai had a putt, similar line coming down and kind of stayed out to the right. And that one really dove off to the left. Can't write down 2.5 on the scorecard, but I feel like you should. Likely stay short of the bunker coming up for her second shot. Andrea Lee now coming down the hill at 17. I'm falling in love with this hole every time I see it played.
It seems a nice par on this difficult hole.
Andrea Lee kind of took her time figuring out what club to hit, and she pulled out a wedge, then she put it back up. Now she's got a putter. I think it's because of that next cut might be in her way of her putter. She did end up picking the putter, but I think she's going to have to hit that rough line behind her. So sometimes, as you know, Amanda, that gets kind of tricky with your speed. You concentrate too much on the rough behind you rather than what's in front of you. It's going to be a speedy putt left to right down the hill.
Absolutely. That's always, you try to take it a little bit more up in the backswing to avoid the rough grabbing the club, but then that can really mess with the speed that your ball comes out. And it looked like she did that. She could have took it up in her backswing to avoid the rough and hit it a little bit harder than she wanted through the break. She will have an uphill putt coming back, but little chicken left on the bone.
They probably had the best opportunity to be quote-unquote aggressive with her birdie effort, but so aggressive that now she's got a slippery one coming back down the slope.
Be too difficult, but definitely misjudged that first putt a little bit. Don't think she was expecting to have to concentrate on the second putt.
All right, a little extra sweat equity from these players here at 17, but everybody's safely in with their pars. Good news, you got a par 5 coming up. Bad news, this particular par 5. I was once told if you flex your lat muscles, which you don't really flex very often when you're standing over at the putt, it's then impossible to then create a bunch of tension in your hands because you're flexing everything in your back, and that takes the tension out of your hands.
So then do you let go of the flex right before you putt, or do you
I've only done it a couple of times.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get master the idea of flexing my lat muscles.
Andrea has one of those just beautiful swings that's extremely repeatable. Doesn't produce very much length. She's 157th on tour, averaging about 244 off the tee, but
I switched a little bit, just left to right. Andrea Lee has 134 yards. She's in the first cut. The right side of the green's a little blocked off by those trees on the right, but she can see the flag. And it's up the hill, kind of a double breaker again. I feel like these greens, there's just so many little valleys and ridges that you just gotta kind of play for, and then all the cups are sitting one way. This cup seems to be from her going right to left. Up the slope, I think she's trying to get a feel for the speed.
that was a really good struck putt. Well judged speed, because that would have been easy to get away from her.
And now live with Andrea Lee.
Andrea Lee has 114 to the hole. Like I said before, this one can get a little bit fast on the green.
Emma, it feels like scoring's just a little bit better right now. Is it the ball's just traveling?
She's looked all around this hole at this one.
There you go.
Boom.
End over end. Quite the roll. Second birdie of the round for Andrea Lee. And for the second time, she's 1 under.
Did just a little bit of homework there, watching her playing competitors. Even
Access to the back of the golf ball. So she runs ahead, and that opens the tee here for Andrea Lee, coming off her second birdie of the day. Would imagine this is
I saw something from, sorry guys, I saw something from, I got to tell you this story real quick. Andrea Lee, I did the behind the scenes for the Solheim Cup on Tuesday. It's just in front of the hole, maybe to the right a little bit. She would be eyeing this one. She's in the perfect spot, looking right up into the throat of that green.
And massive kick, and that's going to go all the way off the green.
Yeah, and that is what can happen here on the golf course. You get a little aggressive, try to take the pin on, and trouble can come into play so quickly.
There should be enough grass down there that it holds up.
Her round, or it really did not seem like she was comfortable with her swing.
And Andrea Lee's ball, they're looking for to try
Today,
Here.
hold
a little bit longer.
groups.
Yeah, I think all the grass goes towards the water, so nothing really stopped it. It's laying that way. However, we all got down there, we found the ball. There was a beautiful frog, it was bright green, like the color of the greens. However, now there's a snake, so they're trying to figure out if Andrea is safe to go down and hit it because there's a snake.
Yeah, no, nope.
They're still talking about the snake.
Nope, I'm not talking about the snake. Nope. No snakes.
Said to Andrea, the snake has not moved yet.
Are they trying to get it to move? Are they trying to scare it away?
Andrea wants to hit the shot, so they are trying to figure out if the snake is alive.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't want to find out if the snake's alive.
What does he do? No.
Or maybe take a club. Does anyone have an extra club? He can.
I am miles from this snake, enclosed and safe, and even I am terrified right now in this moment.
What's going on now is, I guess because there is an animal, you can actually drop inside the hazard away since she doesn't feel safe to hit the shot. I've never seen this one before. Now they've got an alignment stick. I think they're going to try to get this snake out of the way.
Yeah, that's
but
what I was thinking.
Caddy is trying to put a rod down there. I'm not liking this.
No, thank you.
There it goes.
Oh, it is alive.
We are ready to
Look
play,
at the
Andrea
size
Lee.
of that monster.
I wouldn't be thrilled getting that close, thinking it could come back.
And see, the problem was they couldn't use her club to move the snake because it'd be touching, I guess it'd be moving the water. I'm not sure, but they said you can't use a club, so that's why they got the alignment stick out.
Well, hopefully that snake went in a worse lie, because it sounds like, Emma, that her lie is fairly decent, even though it is in the penalty area.
Yeah, her lie's okay, but I'm actually really shocked she's going to hit this, guys. She, 1 foot's in the water.
Don't hurt the frog. All right. Got to putt at it for par.
Yeah, really well done.
No golfers or animals were harmed in the playing of the second hole thus far.
Challenging chip coming back, but didn't expect it to race like that.
Landed it short in that upslope. That killed it.
Too much, but it's hard to read a putt sometimes when there's a lot of shadows in the way. But Andrea Lee definitely has a good look at birdie here, right to left, up the hill.
those shadows can be a little tricky to play through. I mean, it sounds kind of silly, like, oh, that's just shadows, but it can be difficult to see and judge the so far left, the way he was waving those. Oh, should be just fine. Keep focused on their game.
Messed around and got a triple-double. That's exactly what happened to Ashley Buhai. They're at 3 and at 4, as Andrea Lee will be first to play into the green that's clear.
Andrea has 88 yards to the hole, about 84 yards to carry this bunker.
Oh, that was so close to spinning back, and it just got caught in the first cut of rough back there.
I just don't know how you stop the ball back there.
I have to tell Will and Amanda, Sarah Schmelzel just came up to me. She's one of my good friends, and she said,
I just let it fly, which is exactly what she just did on that tee shot.
Andrea Lee going to go ahead up here at the green at 4. Hook a little more.
Oh, that was really close.
And Grace Kim's still waiting to play because after finding the divot and dumping it.
And we are back on the 5th hole. Andrea Lee. Does not love it, the one-handed finish. Finds the bunker just in the almost exact spot that Sarah on the putting surface.
Get out. That one was left the entire way off of the face.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Can anybody post something lower than 69? That's an unrealized question to this point. Andrea Lee's got a long way to go to scramble back to that number, as just a little bit too cute with that one here at the 5th, and now pitching for her par to stay at even.
really tough shot there. It was on a downhill slope. She might as well have been in a bunker. That would have been much easier than where she was. She was down below, downhill slope to up. You know, the green was higher up than where she was, so very difficult shot there. The lie wasn't too bad, but the location was not ideal. Allison Corpus, we've seen a couple players right here, and she has lots of room to work with.
It's just kind of a sloppy hole. Bunkered off the tee, bad contact, tugged it left. Just looked like a bogey the entire way. She's now over par in this round of golf for the first time. Than we saw earlier this morning, but again, you have to survive the closing stretch, which includes over at 18 if you're finishing up on the back nine. We're catching back up here at 6. Left rough for Andrea Lee.
Andrea Lee's 145 away from this whole location, and because it's 19 on the green, she's going to have a little bit of room to work with. And honestly, the ball is sitting up really nicely, so she could hit a little flyer into this, but also she's got really lucky with this lie out of the rough.
Yeah, she played that so well with that flyer lie. A good judge of having it roll out and aiming it at the correct spot. So it goes a little bit long, but just on that fringe collar.
Yeah, she's totally okay right there. And even with you, this golf course looks tough today. I don't have a caddy right now, so it would be tough without a caddy. Andrea Lee has a great looking putt for birdie.
Just go a little.
Oh, really great aims. Did not have enough speed. Tell she was a little frustrated with that just because she'd read it correctly.
Kim. Basically what's happening is there's two wooden planks in front of her ball just on the embankment. And I'm not sure why she's getting relief, but she gets relief because of the two wooden stakes that were in that embankment. So she's actually getting free relief right now, guys.
One.
Little too much golf ball. Could have shot today. Andrea Lee now for birdie, just to get back to level par.
She's 23rd on tour in greens and regulation, so one of the strongest parts of her game that you expect her to be attacking and not playing so defensively and having these weird chips and lies.
Wow. There's a couple of fairways of width between those last two tee balls, left and right. Just a taxing day, a long day, a slow day on a very difficult golf course. Trying to stay in the process here with just a hole or two to go in these featured groups here in this opening round of the FM Championship.
It's just up the hill. Has tons of green to work with. There's a little ridge about 10 feet short of the hole, but I mean, this is textbook, and her lie was actually really good. So I would probably play like a 54 degree and just kind of run it up there, but looks like she's going to try to do a bit of a steep shot.
There she goes. It sounds like she listened to you, just had it run right up. And at Pebble, I just thought that was going to be a green light for the rest of that year, but then also this year. Just watching her game, she just looked absolutely unbeatable. So it has been a surprise that she hasn't had more success this season.
From Corpus.
Andrea Lee has 148 to the hole. Pretty good angle of attack on this one. She's on the right side of the fairway looking straight into it. Probably has a little more green to work with it because of it.
Oh, this is so much of a trust shot. Just know that you are aimed in the right direction and put a solid swing on it. And then you walk up and say, oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah, she'll have no idea that that ball ended up nearly touching the back of the green before it to the right.
Definitely left to right for me. I don't think up and down is too hard to tell, but left to right's a bit difficult to see with that the shadows and the light. But I think that even though Andrea Lee wasn't quite on the same line as Grace Kim, I think she did go to school on that one because her stayed out just a little bit, and it also was a little speedier than I think she was thinking it was going to be. So Andrea Lee's probably just short of 40 feet, 36 feet, and she'd be wanting to get this one in there for the Friday morning start.
And it was definitely easier to read once it was completely covered in shade. Putting through bits of shade here and there can be much more tricky to judge. But this green is almost completely covered at this point, and that one almost went in.
Yeah, she was 1 under through 10 holes, and then hit what she thought was an okay wedge, didn't spin enough, just trickled off the second green. There was a snake involved, there was a frog loitering nearby. It just kind of sputtered things from there. 2 over par the rest of the way in for a 1 over par 73.